welcome to my channel. Tonight's story is brought to you by our new Dream Haven playlist. Over 4 hours of sleep meditations and relaxing music have been gathered in one place for you to enjoy. And sad, letting the worn would cradle him as he listened to the world outside the workshop sink into slumber. Somewhere a cricket began its tireless song. From deep in the earth, a mole rat stirred, poking its blind nose out of its tunnel entrance to taste the damp, earthy air. And high above, the last few leaves, clinging to the ancient oak on the ridgeline, rustled in the wind. He poured a little oil into a chipped clay mug, lit a beeswax candle and stepped out into the enveloping darkness. The hill was his domain, and he'd grown used to its silent companionship. He felt something stir within him, a new kind of energy coiling in his gut and making his pulse quicken. He paused, listening intently. Voices, yes, laughter, too. And beneath it all, the thrumming of a drum. Curiosity, like a moth, fluttered in Ilian's chest. It was so faint, so far away, yet it tugged at him, irresistibly. Ilian froze, suddenly self-conscious. Had he interrupted something? Was he unwelcome here? We've been expecting him. Ilian blinked, surprised. Expecting me, he echoed, unsure of what she meant. The woman nodded, gesturing to the circle. Come, sit with us. We have food and stories and a song for the one who listens. But the woman who had been dancing rose, brushing a stray lock of hair from her eyes. She smiled warmly and stepped forward. Most folk found solace in words, he'd often mused. But some found it in the very hush of things, in the spaces between the birdsong and the babbling brook. Because the stories don't belong to the woods alone. They belong to anyone who seeks them. To anyone who has an ear for the whispers of the wind and a heart for the songs of the night. The trees swayed gently in the breeze, and the very air hummed with the lingering echo of drums and voices. And in the deepest chambers of his heart, a long-dormant ember fled to life. Ilian, the carpenter who listened, was no longer alone. He carried the warmth of the fire in his chest, and the memory of laughter in his soul. And he knew that as long as he had an ear for stories and a heart for company, he'd never truly be alone. The higher branches loomed over him, their leaves whispering secrets in the wind. And as he neared the valley floor, the sounds grew clearer. Your support helps us create more videos and reach more people around the world. Click the link in the description or visit our website to donate today. And as a thank you for your generosity, we'll send you a link to our exclusive podcast. In it, we share personal stories and experiences that inspired some of our most popular videos. It is our way of saying thank you for your support and allowing us to keep making videos that help people around the world. So please consider donating today. These voices, this laughter, the very clear in itself, had been calling to him, guiding him back to a part of himself he hadn't known was missing. The stories the villagers shared wove magic in the air, tales of daring adventures and mischievous fairies and faraway lands that shimmered just beyond the edge of sight. He watched them go, their laughter trailing into the darkness, and he realized that he wasn't just returning to his lonely workshop. He was taking a part of this night, a piece of their joy and a measure of their camaraderie with him. And when they sang, their voices blended into a rich tapestry of sound that lifted his spirit and set his soul soaring. Then, through a parting in the trees, he saw it, a clearing bathed in firelight. You are a listener, aren't you? She asked softly, her gaze steady. Ilian nodded, meeting a gaze. I listen to the stories of the hill, he murmured. And around the flickering flames sat a circle of faces, each turned towards the center where a young woman danced, her laughter echoing into the night. And Ilian had come to cherish those silences. They spoke to him of ancient wisdom and unending mystery. The forest breathed, and as it breathed, it sighed out stories into the darkness. Sometimes, in the stillest moments, when the very trees seemed to hold their breath, he could almost hear the whispers of voices, snatches of laughter, and the murmur of conversation. For a fleeting instant, the hill was alive with people, and then the sound faded away like smoke, leaving Ilian alone with its echoes. Stories of scurrying paws and chattering teeth, of birds dozing in sheltered crannies, and owls awakening to patrol the star-studded skies. Stories as old as the woods themselves. Stories that swirled and eddied around the hill, wrapping themselves around the trees and seeping into the very stones of the earth. Click the link in the description or visit our website to listen anytime. And now let us begin our descent into the misty quiet of this sleepy hill. But their voices wove together like birdsong, and their joy radiated outward, beckoning him nearer. For a long moment, he hesitated, unsure of what to do next. Then he straightened his shoulders and began to walk forward, each step taking him deeper into the warm glow of the fire. When he was young, he'd heard tales of the world beyond the hills, of bustling towns and cobbled streets and lives lived under bright gas lamps instead of starlight. Some folks said the city lights shone brighter than the sun, and Elian had felt a tug of curiosity, just a little peek, he'd thought, to see for himself. But then the wind would sigh a counter-story of mist-laden mornings and crickets, endless songs, and the comforting creaks of ancient trees settling into their slumber. And Elian stayed. He'd never been anywhere else. And so the stories became his world. Elian finished the chair earlier this evening. As dusk deepened into night, he moved it to his hearth, stoked the dying embers back to life. He knew where to find the stoutest oak branch for a sturdy table leg, the silkiest inner bark for patching a deer's den, the plumpest patch of morels hiding near the stream, and the floofiest bed of ferns to cushion a weary traveler's bones. The stories were his guide, and in return, he offered them a listening ear and a respectful heart. And Elian, nestled in his firelit haven, listened. He had always listened. He knew every twist and turn of the hill, every nook and cranny of the woods, every coo and hoot and chirp. When the fire dwindled late into the night, Elian stood, stiffening his aching limbs and smoothing his travel-worn tunic. Yet even as he treasured these stories, a tiny ember of longing still flickered within him. But tonight was different. Tonight, as Elian fastened the latch and stepped out into the foggy darkness, guided by the fading drumbeat, he walked down the misty slope. Drawn by an unseen force, Elian crept closer. He couldn't hear their words. As he approached, the dancers stopped, their heads turning toward him in unison. "Welcome, traveler," she said, her voice like honeyed sunshine. And as Elian lowered himself onto a nearby log, he realized that he wasn't just drawn to the fire, he was being led. As the evening deepened, Elian feasted on bread and cheese and berries, and his heart swelled with a happiness he'd almost forgotten. The village elder, a wizened woman with eyes like polished amber, leaned toward him. And tonight, the elder said, her voice raspy with age, "The hill has brought you to us, hasn't it?" Her words echoed in Elian's mind long after the fire died down, and the villagers prepared to head home. And as he walked back up the misty hill, the familiar path seemed to stretch before him like a welcoming hand. Thank you for watching this video. To keep these stories free for everyone, please consider making a donation below now. Its light flickering golden against the grain of the chair. Soft shadows stretch across the walls of the little shop, not with menace, but with hush. One for the midwife, who needed a rocker to soothe colicky babes. Another for the blacksmith, whose legs grew stiff after years at the forge. Each chair different, each one carrying something unseen. He believes a chair is not just for sitting. There is an old tale. His grandmother told him that if a candle flickers 3 times while you breathe in, your wish will follow the smoke into the stars. He smiles at the thought, doesn't wish, but breathes. And the flame dances once, twice, and yes, a 3rd time. Outside, a cloud slips past the moon. For dreaming, for someone who might visit tomorrow or the next. Somehow the chair knows it's waiting. It will welcome whomever needs it next. A traveler, a wanderer looking for tea and a story. It does not need to know and only to be ready. Here on this hill where no nails hold anything in place, but everything stays just as it was always meant to. Feel the chair beneath you, even if it's only in your mind. It holds you perfectly. It is for holding grief and laughter, and hours that pass while no one is watching. If you'd like to become a supporter, you can visit our website or click the join button below. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the like button. It helps us a lot. You can also share this video with your friends so they can enjoy it too. We'll see you next time. Offcuts of beautiful knots, pegs that cracked just a little, a sliver of you carved with a feather's edge, and a letter folded carefully, tied with a strip of bark string. He doesn't open it. He's never needed to. Its presence is enough. The night speaks in small sounds. The crackle of bark, the groan of beams cooling, the sigh of the kettle hanging from the hook, and his own breath rising, falling, rising. He places both hands on the tabletop, weathered and worn, and thanks it. Not out loud, not in words, just the pressure of palms and a pause. Then he blows out the candle. Darkness wraps around him like a cloak, but it is not empty. It is full breath. Stillness, wood and fog and fire and dreams. He places the drawer back in, gently, not forcing it to close fully. Let it breathe, too. It is for tea shared with a friend, for a cat curled beneath it. And when he touches the top rail, he feels not just the smoothness of ash, but the quiet dignity of something that chose to be form. There is no triumph in Ilian's chest. No pride. Only calm. The kind of calm that comes from alignment, when purpose meets patience and something beautiful appears in the stillness. He sets the chair by the window, where the moonlight can rest upon it, then returns to the fireplace, to the bench, to the warmth, for boots drying near the fire while snow piles at the door. And so Ilian never builds to a like. This one though, this chair, it feels like it was waiting for this evening. This hush, this fire, this moment in time when the world holds its breath, like the long fingers of evening reaching only to cradle, not to grasp. Ilian rests in his creation. He does not lean back too quickly. He lets the wood accept him, and it does. No creak, no shift, just the firm support of something alive. You see, he believes, deep in his marrow, that when wood is joined without force, it remembers its roots. It keeps breathing, and so it holds the sitter not as a prisoner, but as a guest. He closes his eyes for a moment, and the quiet around him blooms. Within that silence, Ilian thinks of other chairs he's built. Beyond the thick oaken door, fog moves like water across the earth. The trees don't sway. They nod, slow and sleepy. Even the birds have tucked their beaks beneath their wings. The grass glistens under moonlight, each blade tipped with dew-like glass. A fox pads quietly through the mist, pausing to sniff the air by Ilian's woodpile. It knows this place. The Carpenter's hill has never held traps. Never only whispered and welcome. And so the fox curls beneath the workshop window and sleeps. Even the wild ones know when a place is safe. Back inside, Ilian stands again. He sweeps the curly wood shavings into a basket, not to discard, but to give back to the forest. Each shaving has a scent, a texture, a whisper of the shape it once was. He will scatter them tomorrow beneath the tree where the ash once stood. A circle returned. In his world, nothing is wasted. Even the scraps hold memory. A single beeswax candle flickers now on the workbench. It glows not sharply, but with a gentle pulse like the heartbeat of the room. Ilian watches it. He steps to a drawer near the hearth, one that sticks a little when it's humid. Inside it are things not meant for sale. The chair is finished now, but more than finished, it is complete. It does not sit again tonight. He leaves the chair for morning. Ilian adds one last log to the fire, watches as the embers stretch and settle, listens. Now, take a breath with Ilian, slow and deep. Let yourself rest. This piece was inspired by the beautiful work of thank you to all our supporters for making stories like this possible. This story is brought to you by our supporters. Every month we make a podcast together, and we're always looking for interesting ways to experiment with the format, where breath and would move as one. The Dreaming Chair. As the stars wheel silently above the hill, the chair waits. It is no longer only ash and joinery, no longer just a collection of smooth curves and polished joints. Now, it holds presence, a kind of awareness, like moonlight given form, not a soul, perhaps, but something close. And for a moment, the traveler forgets the road, the long miles, the reasons they left, the aches and regrets packed into their bundle, the mallet, the chisels, the curved plane, each one laid carefully on a wool-lined shelf, the stretch of flame licking gently at wood. It fills the room like a pulse, a second heartbeat, old and kind. The firelight plays across the traveler's face, eyes half closed now, their grip on the cup loosens, and the storm that broke it, and that when shaped with care, those memories could be shared, that a chair could carry comfort from one soul to another. He knows it. It's why he builds the way he does, why he listens, because somewhere, deep in the grain of ash or oak or elm, there is stillness waiting to be found and shared. Ilian watches. The teacup sits empty now, resting beside the chair, just touching the edge of the woven rug. Ilian doesn't move them, doesn't speak. He only adds another log to the fire, quietly, and steps away. Outside, the stars burn colder, the fog rises, and the house grows quiet again. But the chair holds its guest, without question, without end, not intrusively. Imagine your own breath sensing with the chair's rhythm. Feel the warmth of the fire at your toes, the solid weight of wood beneath you, the hush of wind outside your window. You are part of this moment now. You are welcome here. You are held, just softly, like a guardian of quiet. This is what the chair was made for, not for show, not for coin. We love reading your notes, and we'll see you next time. But for this moment, this melting, this peace, each one washed in the same amber firelight that warms the rest of the room. Ears twitching now and then, but otherwise, still. An owl hoots once in the distance. A low, rounded note that carries and then fades into the fog. The trees are motionless, but not dead, alive in stillness, breathing slowly, like the chair, like the world itself. On nights such as this, they're not worn, they are loved, used slowly, sharpened gently, spoken to, sometimes not with voice, but with touch. And time may rest now, because tonight is not for work. It is for stillness. Here, in this chair, beside this fire, none of it matters. All that exists is warmth, and the soft, rhythmic creaking of logs as they settle in the hearth. Because in Ilian's hands, everything becomes more than it was. Into a carved wooden cup. Steam curls up like a sigh. The traveler takes it, cradles it, doesn't drink, yet just lets the heat melt into their hands. The silence stretches, but it is not empty. It's full of unspoken welcome. Eventually, the traveler speaks, not with questions, not with stories, just one sentence. This is the first place I've felt. Ilian smiles, only a little, and nods once. The fire cracks softly in reply. His patience breathes into the wood. His stillness shapes more than just form. It shapes meaning, and the chair listens to wind, to quiet, to time. It becomes part of the room, as natural as a beam or a stone, but somehow warmer, ready. Waiting your support allows us to pay our editors and freelancers. To learn more about how you can support us, and all the perks we have to say thank you, visit our support page. He opens the door. The traveler doesn't knock. They only meet his gaze, then glance behind him. At the fire, at the chair, Ian nods. No words are needed. He steps aside, and the traveler enters. The warmth wraps around them instantly with smoke and lavender oil. And something else, something quietly sacred. They set down their bundle, take off their boots, and without asking, they sit, settle in deep enough. Let the mist grow thicker, the light grow dimmer, and return with me to the hilltop workshop. Far below the hill, a lantern swings from a walking stick. A traveler moves through the night, a cloak drawn tight, boots soft with wear, a bundle strapped to their back. They do not speak, they only walk, following the curling path up the slope, drawn not by direction, but by invitation. Some part of them feels the chair, though they don't know it yet. Something has called them forward, not loudly, just consistently, a warmth tugging at the edge of thought. And so they keep walking through fog, through sleep-thick air, toward the flickering glow of Ilian's window. The door opens. Alian hears the footsteps. He's not surprised. The hill brings those who need something, a moment in the chair. The chair accepts them, not like furniture, more like a nest or a memory. Their spine rests fully. Their breath deepens. Tea and quiet, Elian says. Nothing, but he pours tea. The tools rest in the corner of the shop. Ilian's tools sleep. The hearths glow. The hearth hums a lullaby. Not a song, but a rhythm. The occasional crackle. The shift of embers. Outside again, the night breathes. The fox is still there, curled near the steps. Something ancient in the wood. Long ago, in lands not so different from this, craftsmen believed that wood had memory, that a tree remembers the wind, and the birds it held. The night deepens, the traveler's eyes drift shut, their breath slows, lengthens, softens. Let yourself rest there too, just for a while. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, consider giving us a like and a comment. Close your eyes a little more now. Let the quiet deepen, like dusk turning to true night, and return with me, gently, to the hilltop, where peace is carved from wood, and rest lives in silence. On this hill, a traveler might find a chair made of intention, filled with quiet. Whoever sits in it won't sit in silence. They will sit in the quiet hum of a place where even sound itself feels like a lullaby. And now, close your eyes. Imagine yourself walking through mist and ancient trees. The trunks are wide and welcoming. The branches interwoven as if reaching for each other across the fading light. Though no words pass between you, you sense a connection, a silent understanding that transcends language. You are both witnesses to the beauty of simply existing. The fire crackles, the wind whispers outside, and you feel yourself drifting into slumber, lulled by the symphony of tranquility. Curiosity piqued, you knock. The door opens, revealing a man with eyes as deep and calming as the forest itself. His name is Elian. The gentle rocking of the chair echoes in your heart, a reminder to find moments of peace amidst life's chaos. The trees stand tall, their branches forming a verdant canopy overhead. As you walk, you notice an old weathered sign hanging from a nearby tree. It reads, "Beware of the woods," but the paint is peeling, and the words seem faded with age. Let the music fade gently in your ears, letting the memory linger like a sweet dream. Remember the tranquil stream and the dancing light upon its surface. Carry the melody of the flute in your heart, and let the spirit of the woods guide your steps as you navigate the path ahead. Beneath the sign, a narrow path beckons, hidden from casual sight. Curiosity sparks within you, urging you to explore. You decide to follow this new path. You continue your journey, no longer burdened by the weight of your worries. You find yourself in a realm untouched by human hands, a place where nature's symphony plays on in perfect harmony. It seems to call to you, beckoning you closer. Intrigued, you begin to walk towards the source of the music. The sound leads you to a clearing, and there, seated on a nearby rock, is a woman playing a silver flute. Her hair flows about her shoulders and her eyes are closed as she pours her soul into the music. The notes dance around her, weaving magic in the air. The music swells, then subsides, leaving a lingering echo in its wake. And as the final note fades away, you are filled with a profound sense of peace and tranquility. The music has touched something deep within you, stirring emotions you didn't know you had. You find yourself drawn to the woman and her flute, sensing that there is more to this encounter than meets the eye. You take a hesitant step forward, eager to understand the meaning of this unexpected interlude in your journey. After what feels like hours, the trees begin to thin, and, in the distance, you hear the faint sound of running water. Following the sound, you discover a clearing and your breath catches in your throat. Before you lies a breathtaking sight, a crystal-clear stream gurgling over smooth stones in a rocky bed. Sunlight filters through the trees, creating a mosaic of light and shadow on the water's surface. Instead, you carry the quiet wisdom of the chair and the reassuring presence of the stones. With each step, you feel stronger, more centered, ready to face whatever lies ahead. The night is alive with the chirping of crickets and the distant hoot of an owl. The fire still flickers merrily in the hearth, casting, dancing, shadows on the walls. Sunlight streams in through the window, painting the room in hues of gold and amber. Stretching, you rise from the chair, feeling rejuvenated and lighter than you have in a long time. The rocking chair creaks softly, as if in farewell, and you pause to appreciate the quiet dignity of the old wood. It has borne countless souls seeking solace, and it continues to stand ready, a steadfast companion in the face of life's ceaseless change. Above you, the Milky Way stretches like a river of stars, and a shooting star streaks across the sky, leaving a trail of wonder in its wake. Curiosity piqued, you open it to find a collection of smooth, polished stones, each one unique in color and texture. There's a note beside them, simply written, "For the journey and for holding space." You smile, understanding the depth of his gift. These stones are not mere pebbles, they are tokens of remembrance, symbols of the strength and tranquility found in stillness. You slip them into your pocket, their weight a comforting presence against your skin. As you lay there, gazing up at the celestial tapestry, a profound sense of peace washes over you. You are reminded of the interconnectedness of all things, the delicate balance of life, and the enduring power of hope. The dream fades, leaving you refreshed and rejuvenated. As you awaken, you realize that the boundary between dreams and reality has become blurred. You can't quite remember where one begins and the other ends. The line between dreaming and waking has dissolved into a state of peaceful ambiguity. You take it, feeling the warmth seeping into your chilled fingers, and you sip. And the liquid, a rich, earthy tea, awakens a sensation deep within you. It's the feeling of coming home. Without a word spoken, he beckons you in. And as you step across the threshold, you find yourself in a room bathed in warm firelight. The scent of wood smoke mingles with the aroma of herbs and something inexplicably sweet. An old rocking chair sits by the hearth, inviting you to rest. Elian disappears into the shadows, leaving you alone with the flickering flames. You sink into the chair, its worn wood cradling you, the gentle creak a soothing melody. And here, surrounded by the whispers of the past, you finally allow yourself to relax. Here, In this sanctuary, the weight of your journey seems to lift, replaced by a growing sense of calm. You don't know how long you sit there lost in the embrace of the quiet. Time becomes irrelevant. Moss carpets the ground, and a weathered wooden sign hangs from an oak, pointing the way to a clearing just ahead. With every step, the trees grow thinner, allowing more light to touch your skin. And then you see it, a humble cottage crafted from stone, smoke curling from its chimney, inviting you closer. You pause, for a moment, savoring the tranquility, and as you approach the door, you hear the soft murmur of a voice inside. And then Elian returns carrying a steaming mug. He places it on the armrest without a word. Now, with your eyes still closed, imagine Elian sitting opposite you in another chair by the fire. In your dream, you find yourself enveloped by the comforting darkness. Now, open your eyes slowly. Around you, the interior of the cozy cottage remains unchanged. Before you leave, you notice a small wooden box on the table next to the chair. As you step out of the cottage, the world seems renewed. Colors are brighter, sounds more harmonious. You wander deeper into the woods, sunlight dappling the path ahead. As you venture deeper into the woods, the trees grow denser, their leaves rustling softly in the gentle breeze. As you stand there mesmerized by the scene, you hear the sound of a flute, soft and ethereal, floating on the breeze. And now, my friends, it's time to return. This is a story about a man named Elian who lives alone on top of a hill. He makes furniture. It's not easy work, but he takes his time. He waits for the right weather to dry his finishes. His customers don't mind. They know if they order something from Elian, it'll last longer than their houses. Some would say he's too slow. He planes and sands and stains. One day a traveler comes to his shop. She's tired and hungry, so Elian offers her tea and bread. They sit in comfortable silence while she tells him about the troubles in her life, about the chaos and confusion. When she's done speaking, she looks at the room around her. "You must be very busy," she says. "Are you never lonely?" Elian ponders her question. There's a difference between being alone, which I am sometimes, and being lonely, which I never am. He looks at her intently. "I think it's because I'm surrounded by things that have stories." He gestures to a simple chair with a loose tenon. "When I fix that, it will become part of someone's home, and in a way that's a kind of company." Then he shows her how to use a knife to carve it. Slowly, she begins to find a rhythm. She cuts and shapes and feels the joy of creation. There's more to making things than just following instructions or fulfilling an order. It's a conversation between you and the material. You show up with your intentions, and it shows you what it's willing to become, if you listen to it. The traveler smiles sadly. "I want to be a part of something like that, but I don't know how." The chair in the corner that was made for a king's daughter, and mortise and tenon, making sure it was as beautiful and sturdy as possible. It took him longer than anyone would expect, but that didn't matter. He wasn't working for an order or a deadline. He was creating something special. They say she spent hours upon hours sitting there, writing poetry. Can you imagine? Elian gets up from his seat. "Then let me show you." She never forgot the man who taught her the craft and the importance of taking one's time. Because in the end, it's not about how fast you work, it's about how well you listen to the wood. Your belly softens like dough under a baker's hands. Sink deeper, even now. Feel the weight of the world easing off your shoulders. It sings to him in its own language, a language of rings and grains, of knots and curves. And Elian listens. Roll your eyes down toward the soles of your feet. Feel the pull of gravity anchoring you to the earth. Now breathe in the scent of shaving wood. Hear the creak of the shave horse, the whisper of shavings on the floor. Each curve and contour, each joint and tenon tells the tale of a bond forged in the heart of a craftsman's soul. For, in the language of wood, he has found his voice. Imagine the warmth of a well-loved piece of furniture, the feel of solid wood beneath your fingertips. Picture yourself curled up in a cozy corner, a book in your lap, the scent of pipe tobacco and old books surrounding you. Feel the gentle crackle of a fire nearby, casting flickering shadows on the walls. Allow yourself to melt into the quiet, letting the peace of this moment wash over you. Stay here as long as you need, resting, rejuvenating, finding solace in the simplicity of it all. And when you're ready, let this tranquility guide you back to your day, refreshed and renewed. "I didn't realize it could be so fun," she admitted. Let your jaw loosen, your breath soften, as we return to the hill where hands shape silence into wood, and dreams settle like sawdust on the floor. He led her into the back of his shop where he'd been hiding it until now. He hears the laughter of the ash, light and carefree, and the wisdom of the warner, rich and deep. The wood speaks to him of its journey, of the sun and rain it has known, the seasons it has weathered, the silent strength it has gathered. This piece of furniture wasn't just a product, it was a part of her. She accepted it with tears in her eyes, promising to cherish it always. He shapes its destiny with every stroke of his chisel, guiding it from rough bark to polished grace. Her eyes widened as she took it all in. It was a magnificent piece, handcrafted to perfection, with every detail lovingly executed. The rhythm of his work becomes a dance, a dialogue between him and the wood, a shared story waiting to be told. He leads her around his shop, showing her all the projects in various stages of completion. He points out different woods and what they're best for. Then they come to a workbench filled with scraps. Here, he says, handing her a small piece of maple. Make something. She looks at it, but I don't know how. It doesn't matter, Eliane says. Just make something out of it. What do you want to create? I don't know, she whispers. Something beautiful, and he nods. Well, then start with a good foundation. He shows her how to trace around the scrap to get the exact measurements. Finally, she steps back to look at her work. Eliane smiles. She looks around the shop at all the completed pieces. They all have stories, you said. Every piece of furniture has a life of its own, he explains. The traveler leans against a sturdy table. What would you make for me? She asks softly. Eliane considers her for a moment. Something strong, he says finally. Something to hold all your stories. And that's exactly what he did. For years, he worked on her project, carefully selecting each plank. Finally, the day came when it was complete. It's gorgeous, she breathed, reaching out to touch it. It's ready whenever you are, he said simply. And she knew what he meant. From that day on, she became known throughout the land for her incredible collection of furniture, each piece telling a story of its own. And that is the story of a man who listened to the wood. Now let yourself go deeper still. Let your spine melt into the floor. Now sink even deeper now. In the stillness, Eliane can hear the wood breathing, whispering stories of centuries past. He understands the whispers of the white oak, strong and enduring, and the lullaby of the cherry tree, sweet and gentle. And Eliane, with calloused hands and a patient heart, translates the wood's whispers into form. As the days turn into weeks, Eliane's workshop echoes with the music of creation. And when the final piece is complete, it stands as a testament to the language they have spoken together. In the stillness of his workshop, surrounded by the ghosts of trees and the whispers of time, Eliane finds solace and purpose. Now let yourself go deeper still. Feel the stillness all around you. Close your eyes. Imagine sinking into a soft woolen cloak, letting it wrap around you, enveloping you in warmth and comfort. Peaceful meditation to help you decompress after a busy day. Look no further than this guided meditation called Sink Deeper Still, written and recorded by the amazing Adrian Mission. The meditation is part of her online platform, which offers a host of classes and resources to foster mindfulness, presence, and inner peace. Notice how the metaphor of the linen drying in the breeze is used to invite the body to relax and expand like the fabric. Listen closely. The image of the world becoming distant encourages us to detach from external distractions and immerse ourselves in the immediate experience. The focus narrows to the elements of wood and candlelight, grounding us in the physical space and creating a cozy atmosphere. The sensory details, such as the linen shirt and the earthy scent of linseed oil, create a tangible atmosphere that envelops the listener. Inside is a single spoon curved worn, with a slight bend near the neck, but it holds a story. He remembers the tale, passed down in whispers. In a monastery kitchen, long ago, a cook stirred his stew every day with the same wooden spoon. But instead of scolding the spoon when it bent, he saw it as the spoon's way of adapting lining toward the grain of the pot. The rain's transformation from drizzle to a steady rhythm mirrors the shift in atmosphere, grounding the scene in a sense of tranquility. He'd arrived one autumn, barefoot and wide-eyed, following the forest path as if led by some silent bell. Eliane never asked why the boy was quiet. He simply showed him the tools, the wood, the grain. Others are tight in close years of drought or frost. He counts them. The tree rings become a metaphor for life's journey, reminding us that every moment and experience leaves its mark. Elias's ability to read the rings and understand the tree's history fosters a sense of wonder and appreciation for the natural world. This segment also touches upon the concept of purpose and intentionality, encouraging us to engage with our projects and surroundings in a mindful and respectful way. You are safe here, like a dovetail joint in chestnut, unshaken, unseen, but certain. By inviting us to feel unshakable, unseen, but certain, She instills a sense of safety and stability. The imagery of the dovetail joint, rain and fire, creates a cozy and protective atmosphere, allowing us to fully relax and let go. The encouragement to melt into the present moment, like candle wax, invites us to surrender to the experience and allow tension to release from our body. Adrian reminds us that this state of stillness is not a dream, but a deeper form of presence that builds inner strength and resilience, like the rings of a tree. By affirming that we are not drifting, but nesting into stillness, she anchors us to the present moment, inviting us to embrace the beauty of simplicity and quietude. Let the rain continue beyond your window, soft and cleansing. Let the fire whisper low in the hearth. Let your muscles melt like candle wax warmed by presence. This is not a dream, but something quieter, deeper. A rest that builds, layer by layer, like the rings of a tree. You're not drifting, you're nesting into grain, into calm, into stillness. The chair is almost ready, and so are you. The idea that each project is a conversation rather than a command invites us to approach our goals and tasks with a sense of curiosity and openness, listening to the cues and feedback from the world around us. Don't forget to subscribe to stay connected with us and explore more guided meditations and mindfulness practices. Wishing you a peaceful and rejuvenating day. 63. This tree lived a full life before it ever became timber. He chooses to use a hidden dovetail, where the joint fits so tightly you cannot see it from the outside. In medieval times, this kind of joint was used in sacred reliquaries, chests that held relics no eyes would ever see. A reminder that not everything beautiful must be visible. Elian cuts the tail, then the pin. He tests the fit. It slides together with a satisfying sigh, as if the wood has found its missing piece. He runs his finger along the seam. Invisible. Perfect. Held only by trust. Some believe tree rings tell a story, a secret diary of seasons, etched in silence and grain. The historical context of using such joints in sacred places adds a layer of reverence and contemplation. The idea that some beauty is meant to be unseen encourages us to appreciate the value of things that may not be immediately apparent to the eye. By choosing to create a hidden dovetail, Elias demonstrates his commitment to quality and precision, emphasizing that true craftsmanship often goes unnoticed, but holds immense strength and beauty. The satisfaction with which the joint comes together symbolizes the power of precision and the organic nature of working with wood. The dovetail, held only by trust, becomes a metaphor for the importance of faith and belief in one's craft. Elian smiles. He's not carving wood, he's reading it. Every project is a conversation, not a command. He asks the chestnut what it wants to be, and then he listens. And the boy learned, not through words, but through rhythm. He'd tap the chisel just right, follow the curl of the wood, sense when the plank was ready to bend. By the end of that winter, he had built a stool with legs so even it never wobbled once. When he left behind his silence carved into everything he'd made. Elian still keeps that stool by the door. The description of the workshop as a world of amber and hush creates a cozy and peaceful ambient, inviting us to fully embrace the present moment. The apprentice's silence becomes a catalyst for growth, prompting Eliana to appreciate the power of non-verbal understanding. The imagery of the boy following a silent bell adds a touch of mystery and introspection, suggesting a deep connection to nature and intuition. Through the apprentice's actions, we see the transformative power of patience, observation and intuition in the learning process. The story serves as a reminder that sometimes the most profound lessons come from the quietest places. The absence of hammers and sharp sounds underscores the theme of gentleness and quietude, encouraging us to find stillness amidst busyness. The act of sketching becomes a meditative practice, allowing creativity and intuition to flow without the pressure of concrete plans or blueprints. The comparison between sketching and dreaming beautifully illustrates how rest and creativity are intertwined, reminding us that true inspiration often arises when we allow ourselves to relax and let our minds wander. That cook believed wood had its own decisions, its own wisdom. He never forced it. Elian smiles as he holds the bent spoon. It stirs nothing now except memories, but somehow that's more nourishing. The act of wiping the tools becomes a form of communion, emphasizing the importance of honoring and preserving the tools that shape his work. The metaphor of caring for time itself elevates the routine task to a profound act of reverence. It hums through the downspout, gathers in puddles, drips gently from the edge of the shutters. Inside, the workshop becomes a world of amber and hush. There are no hammers, no sharp sounds, only slow movements and the flicker of candlelight. Elian sketches in his journal not plans, not blueprints, just shapes, curved legs, arching backs, joints that lock together like lullabies. He isn't sure what they will become, but that's not the point. The sketching is part of the build, just as dreaming is part of sleep, suggesting that each stroke of the cloth is a restoration of memory and legacy. Not to use them, but to care for them. Each one is wiped clean with an oiled cloth made from an old linen shirt his grandfather once wore. The story of the bent spoon and the patient cook teaches us about adaptability and finding nourishment in the ordinary. By sharing this tale, Adrian invites us to appreciate the subtle lessons that everyday objects and stories can impart. The idea that wood has its own decisions and wisdom sparks a sense of wonder and respect for the natural world, encouraging us to approach our interactions with the environment in a more mindful and appreciative way. The scent of linseed oil drifts through the workshop, earthy, familiar, like rain-soaked bark or warm bread crust. He whispers the names of his tools as he wipes their handles, their spines, their metal jaws. This is not a chore, it's communion. Caring for these tools is like caring for time itself. Each stroke of the cloth restores the memory of all they've touched. Let's dive right into the meditation. Alright, sink deeper still. Let your breath stretch out like a length of linen drying in a meadow breeze. The world is distant now. Only wood, candlelight, and comfort remain. Here we begin with an invitation to go deeper and surrender to the present moment. And now we turn our awareness to the sounds surrounding us. In this guided meditation, Elian awakens to the gentle sound of rain on the roof, each drop a soothing rhythm, like fingers on a drum made of silence. Even the tools on the wall seem to sleep a little longer. Notice how Adrian uses vivid imagery and poetic language to engage our senses and transport us to a peaceful scene. The sound of rain transforms from a mere background noise to an active participant, drumming on the wooden shingles above. The personification of the rain, as fingers drumming on a drum made of silence, a layer of tranquility and harmony to the scene. The image of tools sleeping invites a sense of stillness and rest, even in the midst of the workshop setting. When he does rise, Elian prepares his tools with reverence. In this segment, we witness Ilya's ritual of caring for his tools, highlighting the deep respect and connection he has with his craft. As the rain lingers, Elian takes a moment to sit by the hearth and reaches into a small wooden drawer. This scene introduces a touch of whimsy and folklore into the narrative, reminding us of the inherent beauty and wisdom in simplicity. By midday, the rain has turned from drizzle into a quiet, steady rhythm, not loud, but present. This segment emphasizes the importance of balance and integration between activity and rest. As he sketches, his thoughts drift to an old apprenticer boy who never spoke a word. This section introduces a nostalgic and reflective element, taking us back to a significant moment in Eliana's past, when he had an apprentice who taught him valuable lessons about communication and connection. By evening, Elian chooses a block of chestnut. He turns it over in his hands, examining the rings. Some rings are wide, years of plenty. Here, Adrian introduces an element of mindfulness and respect for nature by highlighting Elias's deep connection with the wood he works with. And now he begins something new, a drawer for a cabinet that does not yet exist. This section introduces an element of mystery and symbolism, inviting us to contemplate the deeper meaning behind Ilias's choice of a hidden dovetail joint. And now this meditation concludes with a powerful message of grounding and connection. Adrian ends the meditation with a powerful message of grounding and connection. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. This piece of wood is no longer just a thing, an object among countless others. It is here now. At least for a while. It will stay here, and because it has been given a space, it can be more. One is to close your eyes, to let the words wash over you like water, letting each phrase build a peaceful place within your mind. The other is to keep your eyes open, to picture the scene as we speak, tracing our story with your gaze. Choose whichever path feels right for you today. If you wish to change paths midway, that's perfectly fine. There are no rules in the practice of stillness. Your heartbeat echoes the low hum of the saw as it glides through the wood, shaving off thin layers, revealing the smooth grain beneath. You are enveloped by this rhythm, cradled by its steady beat. Here in this sanctuary of wood and whisper, you shed the weight of the world, releasing tension with every exhale, finding solace in the ancient craft. The rain continues its ceaseless song outside, a melody as old as the trees themselves, a lullaby that rocks the world into slumber. The joints are perfect, seamless, a testament to the harmony between man and nature. between intention and creation. Yet in the midst of this tranquil scene, there is a sudden shift, a new presence felt rather than seen. You are part of a lineage, a thread in the tapestry of time, connecting you to the timeless rhythm of creation. And in this shared space, you find not just companionship, but inspiration, courage, and a profound sense of belonging. He takes a deep breath, savoring the moment, the scent of wood, the feel of cool stone beneath his feet. And familiar as the curve of a mountain ridge, its seat smooth and inviting as a river stone worn by countless seasons. It is a chair meant for listening, for sharing stories. Beneath the soft glow of a beeswax candle for leaning back and gazing into the dancing flames, while tales unfold for sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, united in the embrace of a shared narrative. The chair is complete, not just in form, but in spirit. A silent sentinel waiting to cradle weary bones, to bear witness to untold stories, to stand firm against the passage of time. It will whisper of patient hands and quiet strength, of the comfort found in simplicity, of the solace of a well-crafted piece, and most importantly, of the countless moments of connection it has silently witnessed. But in essence, the scent of sawdust and sweetwood smoke mingling with the fragrance of 1,000 untold stories, the feel of cool stone beneath your feet, the gentle weight of a well-loved tool in your hands, the symphony of creation playing softly in your ears, all blend seamlessly with the rhythm of your breath, anchoring you to the present moment, grounding you in the richness of being. It is in the air, in the deepening shadows, in the very grain of the wood, a state of being where the boundaries between wakefulness and dreams, between the self and the infinite, dissolve into a boundless ocean of tranquility. In this state, you are not separate from the wood, the tools, or the very essence of creation. You are part of it, resonating with the silent wisdom of ages past. And as the shadows lengthen and the first stars begin to glimmer in the darkening sky, you know that this chair, this embodiment of tranquility, is ready to cradle you in its embrace. It stands as a symbol of unity, a testament to the enduring spirit of craftsmanship. Each curl, each spiral, each fragment whispering tales of the tree it once called home. The shavings won't be discarded, not here, not now. Instead, they will rest, waiting patiently for their next chapter, ready to become kindling for a hearth fire, to cradle a newborn babe, or to line a cedar chest, holding memories close. And as you step back to admire your handiwork, you realize that you, too, are part of this legacy. Your breath mingling with the spirits of those who came before, your hands bearing the marks of time and creation. And as you prepare for slumber, you carry this philosophy within you, cherishing every piece of yourself, every facet of your being, knowing that in the grand tapestry of existence, every thread, no matter how seemingly insignificant, has a role to play. It is the presence of those who came before, the spirits of carpenters long gone, whose laughter echoed in this very space, whose hands once held these same tools, whose hearts beat with the same rhythm as yours. Their presence is a gentle guide, their spirits a source of strength, their wisdom woven into the fabric of this ancient craft. The chair is more than wood and nail and hammer. It is a poem in wood, a testament to the beauty of patience, a celebration of the quiet strength that resides within us all. With each tap of his hammer, Eliana draws closer to completion, each movement precise, deliberate, a testament to the quiet strength born of patience. As he works, his thoughts drift, not to distant lands or bustling marketplaces, but to the heart of the forest where these timbers first stood, reaching for the sky. He sees the sun dappling the ground through the leaves, feels the earth yielding beneath his feet, hears the wind rustling secrets through the branches. The forest breathes with him, its essence mingling with his own, becoming one with the grain of the wood. For here in this timeless realm, you are not just a spectator. You are a participant in the creation of peace, more than just wood, more than just a thing. Within this space, the boundary between creation and contemplation blurs, merging into a single act of devotion, a meditation on form and function, strength and serenity. Ilian lights a single beeswax candle, its flame swaying with the quiet air. On the workbench, the pieces of the chair now rest, each one shaped, sanded, measured not just with rulers, but with intuition. It is time to fit the It curves gently, like a smile, crafted from ashwood, chosen for its spring and bend. In medieval guilds, this kind of work-shaping bent wood without steam was an art passed from master to apprentice in hushes and gestures, never written down. Ilian knows how to feel when the wood is ready. He does not rush, he does not force. He only believes. The curve holds. You are not merely crafting a chair, you are weaving a refuge, a haven for weary souls seeking solace. And as you work, you discover that you too are finding rest. There are 2 ways to listen to this episode, and so our story begins. Gently now, let your breath stretch like timber in the summer sun, smooth, unhurried, slowed by time. A plane, its iron gleaming drowsily, a hammer with a wooden face, worn smooth from countless taps, tapping into stillness, a saw resting gently, its teeth still sharp yet ready for slumber, a square, a ruler, a pencil, a marking knife, and beyond them all, your focus rests upon the centerpiece of this sanctuary, a lone chair taking shape, its parts arranged as if awaiting their turn in a slow unfolding dance. You're safe within this workshop of the mind, surrounded by the hush of tools, the rhythm of rain, and the memory of hands older than yours. Patient, sure, guiding, never forcing. You have come in from the weather-beaten chill of a winter's day, drawn to this haven of sawdust motes dancing in soft lamplight where the scent of wood mingles with the aroma of well-used tools and the lingering fragrance of countless projects past. The window pane is fogged with condensation, but the workshop remains clear in your mind, filled with implements laid to rest on the workbench, each with its own familiar weight and purpose. Slowly, deliberately, you begin to gather them, piece by piece, feeling the texture of each, the resilience of the wood beneath your touch, its individual voice joining the quiet chorus of the workshop. And as you do, a deeper sense of calm descends, anchoring you in the present, soothing your weary soul. This is the balm of the carpenter, the solace of creation, the tranquility found in form and function, the gentle weight of a board sliding into place, the subtle give of a joint, the whispers of wood on wood. All these speak a language older than words, a lexicon of craftsmanship, of patience, of dedication. In the hushed symphony of the workshop, your breath deepens, synchronizing with the rhythmic tap, tap, tap of your hammer. As the last sliver of sunlight bleeds from the sky, leaving behind the soft glow of dusk, you are enveloped by the deepening quiet. Evening comes like a woolen cloak, draping softly over beams and rafters. Time is fluid here, stretching and bending like the wood under his touch. He sets the backrest in place, fitting it to the frame like a missing piece of a forgotten dream. As darkness deepens, the single candle flame flickers, casting dancing shadows that weave tailies of their own on the weathered walls. You are not alone in this haven of wood and light. The chair is assembled, silent witness to generations of hands that have shaped wood into beauty, into function, into art. Elian steps back from his creation, a single drop of sweat tracing a slow path down his temple. It is a simple chair, unadorned, strong, rooted deeply in the earth, its back as comforting years from now, when the wood has deepened in hue and softened in texture, when the stories woven into its grain have multiplied. When the chair has become a cherished heirloom, its presence will speak volumes. For now, though it stands bathed in the ethereal glow of twilight, a monument to stillness, a silent invitation to rest, a promise of comfort and companionship in the quiet hours. The final touch, a gentle sweep of the hand across the chair's sturdy frame, a silent farewell to the shavings, the wisps of wood that danced in sunlit arcs, now gathered in a rustic basket. Nothing is wasted in this sacred space. Every fragment finds its purpose, every curve tells a story, every edge softens into usefulness. And as you drift into sleep, the workshop envelops you, not just in dreams, here in the heart of the workshop. As the moon climbs higher in the velvety sky, you find yourself enveloped in a profound stillness. And as you journey deeper into this tranquil realm, you carry with you the spirit of the carpenter, the patient, unwavering dedication to your craft, the intuitive understanding of form and function, and most importantly, the profound connection to the natural world that gives life to your creations. Settle deeper now. Let the hush around you stretch into stillness, like starlight over the roof of an old cottage, not of castles or crowns, but of forests, tall, gentle trees swaying like lullabies in a breeze that knows only peace. Elian stirs, still seated in his chair, the candle long gone, the coals in the hearth glowing with their last breath, wipes the tools with an oiled cloth, stacks the spare timber in neat, warm rows. Everything has its place, its rest. Even tools must sleep. He hangs the apron by the door, takes one last look at the workbench, at the soft light sliding in through slats, at the whisper of wood grain, on every surface. Spinning once, then settling down. The wind outside is only the trees sharing your story with the stars. If you've been listening for a while, this format might feel familiar to you, and that's because these little stories were inspired by a project that I made a few years ago. I had a dream from wood and time, a legacy of hands, a workshop sleeps again, the listener's rest, and a final drift. They were a kind of experiment to me, a chance to make something new within a very old form, and somehow I think that the experiment worked. And then when the song has faded, and you are deep in the hush, you may hear the third phrase. Let the darkness fall, sweet darkness, full and deep. All the earth is fast asleep. All the birds are hushed and still. Only my love, my darling. Only my love, my life's desire. Only my love, my darling. Only my life's desire. I wanted it to be a new kind of comfort for those who need it most. A different approach to finding peace. This is the kind of story that I needed to tell you because you are strong. You are brave. You are resilient. And you deserve all the rest that you'll ever get. The world can wait. Your dreams don't. So settle deeper now. Let the hush around you stretch into stillness, like starlight over the roof of an old cottage. Your breath is the rhythm, your body the timber, and sleep the craftsman. Only my love, my darling, only my life's desire. So sweet, so deep, so pure. Only my love, my darling, only my life's desire. Only my love, my darling, only my life's desire. Let the darkness fall, sweet darkness, full and deep. The quiet creak is only the memory of Ilian's hands at work. You are not alone in your stillness. Let the silence hold you. Let the silence hold you till the morning light, till the morning breaks. Let the silence hold you till the morning light, till the morning breaks. Let the silence hold you till the morning light, till the morning breaks. You are surrounded by forests that remember, by chairs that listen, by a world that was built to hold you without weight. These 4 phrases, settle deeper now. Let the wind sing, let the darkness fall, let the silence hold you. They were once a gift to help someone sleep, and now they are a gift to you. A gift to help you rest, to let you go, to allow you to simply be, without sound. So, sleep now, sleep deeply. You are already halfway there, and the rest of the way will come with the next breath. He whispers, thank you, to no one in particular, and locks the door behind him. He stretches, slow and quiet, as though he dose in tea. Want to wake the very boards beneath him. The chair creaks, not from weakness. There's a tale about a king who couldn't sleep. He went to a wise man and asked for help, and the wise man gave him a gift, 4 phrases that would open doors into slumber. Well, here are those 4 phrases. May they be a key to your own doorway. May they clear the path between where you are and where you need to go. That patience is in your bones. Your bed is your workbench. Your pillow, the grain of seasoned ash. Like starlight over the roof of an old cottage, your breath is the rhythm, your body the timber, and sleep, the craftsman. That's the first phrase. Settle deeper now. Your thoughts may drift, but they are held cradled by invisible joinery, crafted not with force, but with care. Over the rooftops, over the hills, let the wind sing, and you may follow. Oh, my love, my darling, my life's desire, over the high hills, and far, far away, over the mists and the mountains that rise, over the valleys and the meadows so green. Follow my love that calls to you and calls to you, and you shall find rest. Tonight, no hammer strikes, no fastenings. Bind, you are resting, as the chair was built, without nails, without hurry, with soft hands and warm light. From greeting, it has held him the way good work does, without pressing, without pride, just presence. He traces one final edge with his thumb and stands. Later, he will carry it to a neighbor. Perhaps the schoolhouse, perhaps a young family expecting their first child. The chair will go on, used, remembered, repaired, loved. That is how it lives, not with nails, but with time. In the dream, he walks barefoot across a mossy floor. The trees nod as some of them have the same grain as his chair. One leans close and whispers, "We remember," and he knows what they mean. Not just the shape of the chair, but the patience that formed it, the breath that smoothed it, the hours given to silence. He keeps walking deeper into the dream. No rush, no fear, just the soft, rhythmic beat of his own heart echoing under leaf and root. Your breath is the rhythm, your body the timber and sleep. The craftsman, Ilian dreams. Back in the waking world, Dawn rises like honey poured slowly across the hills. Ilion sweeps the dust once more. And now, dear one, the story leaves the carpenter behind, but not his rhythm, not his peace. That rhythm is in your breath now. If a thought knocks at your mind's door, you may simply watch it pass, like a wood shaving curling off the blade. This piece is called a dream from wood and time. The oldest part of this story goes back to ancient Greece. First, settle deeper now. Let the hush around you stretch into stillness. Now the second one, let the wind sing. So let the wind sing over the rooftops, over the hills. Let the wind sing, and you may follow. And finally, when the darkness is your only covering, when the hush is a blanket around you, you can rest in the fourth phrase. So let the silence hold you till the morning light, till the morning breaks. When I set out to write this story, I wanted it to be something different.